I love this. Yeah. Hello, testing.
Yes, we are back for the second edition of the year in review. Yes, you've seen my opening.
I haven't seen this opening. No, I've definitely not seen this
so
opening.
Good. I want mine
it's
to be
so
like
good.
this.
Jeez, are you serious?
It's so good.
What is this?
This whole setup. Now I'm getting fucking mad.
Well,
What? I've never seen that.
oh, let me introduce.
I'm pissed off. This is really good.
Jesus Christ, it's really like high end.
Well, no, I mean that was done by Eric Silva. He's a wonderful graphic designer. I would be more than happy. Yes, he's okay. One step at a time. This is the Brian Moreno Show, episode 2 of the year in review. I have 2 of, again, my favorite people, favorite comedians in studio. To my right, David Murphy, the very funny one and only.
Thank you, sir.
And the absolutely delightful Gabby Lamb, who has not been here since the Halloween episode. Yes, which was unbelievable. Gabby Lamb was our host, correspondent, judge, our everything woman, and that was a lot of fun. If you have not seen the Halloween episode, yes, the $300 Craigslist costume contest.
That was honestly a highlight of quarantine for me. That was pretty fucking funny.
That's amazing.
And this is our 2020 year in review show, show number 2. And every one of these shows, I trying to give a little different perspective, a little different look about the year, because everyone, I think, is going to take a little something different from 2020. Yes. Now, we were just before we started all of this, and you guys commented on the opening, which makes me thrilled.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was great.
I'm gonna have to. I think.
I know. What the fuck?
That was really good. I mean, you had the
Michelangelo
thing, and then the Cro-Magnon man. What was that? What was that?
It's
the apes.
It's Avatar.
Was that Michelangelo too? With the
well, yeah, no, that's the.
Was that Michael? Yeah, that is Michelangelo.
Is it?
It's the.
No. It's Oh fuck! The guy who did like the wheel, or wait,
Da Vinci maybe.
Da Vinci.
That might have been Da Vinci. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I was like,
We got our
What? That was so nice.
Now I have to say, 2020 obviously is going to be remembered by Corona.
Yeah.
Like that's obviously the lowest hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. So I don't want any of that out of you. I want like the peripheral things that came from Corona. You know, it's because I really brought this up yesterday because this is something I'm going to remember until I have no more memory. That 2020 was the year that actually forced me to spread my wings a little. Now don't get me wrong. Comedy was a spread your wings thing for me, but it was like a be-all and end-all. I was so delusional. I thought if I worked really hard and just kept grinding, I could make it as just a comedian. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's crazy. Like, I would have ended up just being a road guy. Yeah. You know, I would have never gotten Hazel. I would have never, I don't, you know, there's a lot of things that happened because of the pandemic.
Was Hazel a quarantine purchase?
Yeah, yes. I told him not to get her.
No, she was.
No, really?
Well, and it wasn't a purchase. So like, cute. It was I rescued her. Yeah. So, from a rescue, and she, you know, so when you said it was, makes it sound dirty.
A purchase?
Yeah.
God, she's so cute. Yeah, where'd you get her?
And the LaBelle Foundation. Aww. And there are things that I think from all the shit that came in 2020, there's some good that really did happen. And I have to say, though, I've learned how many people aren't my friends. Mm-hmm. Also, you know, 2020 really brought out, I mean, not just because of Corona, because of politics or because they lost their mind. Uh-huh. Like some people, they got Corona crazy.
Yeah. A lot of people have gotten Corona crazy.
Mm. You know, like they've shown me that they were either unable to really rise above, because you know how much this news has really fucked up a lot of people. Yeah. Like the news is so like clickbaitish, and there's so much. It's affirmation, not information. Right. Like if you want to believe whatever, your side is right, that's all you're going to find on Facebook. You know, you're not going to find things that maybe open your eyes. And a lot of my friends that I considered my people, they changed.
Yeah.
They changed tremendously. And I'm going to remember 2020 for the changes that it forced, you know? And this show's been in my head since I first saw the Howard Stern show. I used to be an AM radio guy that would sit with this little radio and I would keep it next to my ear so my mom would yell, shut that shit off, I can't sleep, you know, just listening to talk. And then Howard Stern, when I first saw him on TV, I'm like, wow, I've never seen this medium on television. And I had this idea forever, and then I just got further away from it, and Corona forced me into it.
Did you start this during Corona?
Yeah. This whole... Murph was here when this room was a closet.
No fucking way.
I called bullshit.
No
When
fucking
he said
way.
Everybody called bullshit. I said,
Everybody
there's no way
did.
you turn this. It was 8 boxes in here. That's all. I was like, there's no way this
Everybody
gets
called
turned to a studio.
bullshit.
No fucking way. But that has been the great part about COVID, is like it has forced everybody to reevaluate what they do and like figured out how to get creative with it. I'm really, really grateful for it in that way.
I'm OnlyFans is probably
Everybody got an
Well, that's
OnlyFans.
Everybody got an
Now-
OnlyFans.
Fuck.
Away from that.
To every comedian too is on OnlyFans now.
Yeah.
No, let me
So
be.
funny.
Hold on. Are people actually making money on
Yeah.
OnlyFans?
Some people are. Some people are.
I know a comic she's not famous, nobody knows her, but she's like probably making $300 a month.
Shut up.
Just like passive
Nah,
income.
she paying some bills.
I got a friend who got on it during this time, and she like bought a fucking new Cadillac. Like she's making money.
Yeah.
Okay, now what is she doing to buy a new? I don't know. Like I wanted to get on to see. Like are people like show me the right vag?
I know
lip or
girls started
something?
So I met a girl started a webcam show, right? She does toys, whatever. But I didn't know you could do this. I was like, aren't you scared about people? You can block out regions, right? She does a webcam. She blocks out this state. She blocks out what state she's from. She blocks out the state she was. Yeah, so you can like only have the shit go to like states you have no affiliation with. You don't know anybody in.
Right.
So she does that, and I was like, oh, like, yeah. She's like, I block out all of Cali.
Interesting.
I block out Oregon. I block out. I lived in New York for a while. I block out New York. I blocked out Philly.
Oh shit!
Like-
There's so many people in New York. She's missing out on it.
It's a big market.
And she's doing like fetish toys.
She lives in a nice ass apartment, like probably one of those brand new high end. You know, when the ones that build and last like 7-year apartments with the whole fucking like city entire.
Did she start this during COVID too?
Yeah.
So many people have started so many creative endeavors because we have all this fucking time now. It's like,
Yeah, she's.
what
like,
else are we gonna do?
Well, one point that Andy Kozel brought up yesterday, and he's brought up throughout COVID, is that it was kind of a great equalizer.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and I still think it's amazing that some of these people that I really looked up to as creatives, when they had all the network backing and all the shit taken away, it's like they're just doing open mic trash.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like it was a great equalizer for a lot of people. I mean, I know Gabby, look, what's the name of your podcast?
Tea time.
Tea Time, Gabby Lamb.
Tea with just TEA or T?
TEA.
Okay, tea. Oh, like tea, like giving
sipping
sip of
tea.
Yeah. But now I remember that the first episode that you put out, you had that nervous energy where you know, like you could see your wheels turning. Mm-hmm. And then now it's just you're becoming like, oh, I have these topics and I can talk about it in more of a flow. And this is just how many episodes?
It's
6? 3?
Only 3.
Yeah, well, see, that's great.
Yeah, it takes a lot, but it's like, it is really fucking nerve-wracking. Like, especially when you don't know how to like set things up, and it's just like me alone in my room with a fucking
trying to
mic,
do
and
this
I'm like,
shit?
yeah, it's so hard, and I was just like,
Dude,
and it's hard when you don't have other people to talk to, when it's just like me alone in my room, and I'm like, who the
Yeah,
fuck is this for?
that's another. Yeah.
Well, that's a big thing that I have not crossed that hump yet, to be able to just turn in the camera and just do a monologue. And that is something that certain people, I think, they're like what they're trying to do, it lends better to when they're just able to talk. Like you're talking about some personal stuff, family stuff. Like some of the stuff I do, like when I do interviews, it gets deep. But in the same note, this is also like it's a topic fun show that deals with a lot of things. You know, that Andy Kozel suggested I change the name from the Brian Moreno Show to the Rabbit Hole. because everything here is like you go and once you're in the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But it's like think back at how much different of a person we all were in January.
It fucking crazy, but it's also so crazy because like I have been sober this entire year and like having like remembering this entire year. Like I remember last New Year's I was on Molly and I was really drunk, and it's like that was the last time I was really fucked up, and it's like I have so much memory now.
Did you have New Year's play at your place? At your
No,
apartment?
I went to Neil Nanda's.
Oh, I was there.
Wait, were you there?
With I was up with the 3-story. Yeah, I was there. I got it.
Were you fucked up? God, I remember, dude, I was so fucking rolling. I remember like being like a crackhead walking around being like, who's got more drugs? Like I was itching for drugs.
Yeah, I remember meeting a young lady in the bathroom at that party, and she was very nice. And
you were there, and it's
I was like, because I was up. Yeah, I was.
We were on the roof.
On the roof. And then I remember, I think I got to a point where I was like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah,
like it was like it's too many people. It was starting to wind down. Yeah. And where did I go? Fuck, I forgot me. Yeah, it was a good party.
That was a good party.
Yeah, because I was like, damn, Neil, you doing all right? I was like, oh, this girl.
No, him and his girl. Yeah,
I was like,
I've been there a few times, but I did not go out last year.
It was dope. I was surprised. I was like, man.
I was having a fucking blast.
Yeah, that's a good time.
And so you went sober. How long after that?
January. My last drink was January 4th, so technically January 5th was like my first day. So
you drank even 3 days after that hard night.
Yeah.
You still went back and drank the 4th. Okay.
Yeah. Last night drinking was the 4th. Yeah.
That's amazing. She's like, I'm back on the horse.
Yeah. I know. I took 2 days off. I was like, time to get back.
What was the straw that broke the camel's back?
Fucking, I was just like, why am I doing this? I was so depressed, and it was like.
That's awesome. You you realize it though.
No, that's beautiful. That you were able to step up and just make the change.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people change is only hard when you want to do it.
Yeah.
Like when you're forced to change, it's like you just got to do, but when you want to change, it's really hard.
It is.
Because you have so many patterns that you've like built up,
Yeah.
And unless you're thrown out of that, you keep going back to the well.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's there's something that's funny about this, and this is a thing where I used to, and I still kind of have this on some level where I'd want, if a girl was sober, I used to want her to break her sobriety for me.
For sure.
Like there's a kind of power in that. It's almost like as a gay dude breaking a straight dude. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a power thing, bro. It's like a weird I don't want her to get crazy, but I'm like, she's like, all right, I don't have one drink, like that kind of thing, which is kind of fucked up.
It's so fucked up.
It's super fucked up. But I'm like,
you don't realize that.
It's like super fucked
if they're
up.
like actually an addict, and you're like, just do it.
You're like, you don't know how bad it is. Sometimes like, you're like, and you don't know the spot. Because thinking everybody's like you, so you're like, oh, so you can have like a couple drinks, whatever. You can have a turn up night, and then like,
you don't know if somebody's actually not drinking because they're like, I'm just trying not to drink this month.
But then you're like, or like, hey, I'm gonna end up in a fucking prison in the morning. It's like,
I'm gonna exactly.
But I've dated people like that though. Like I'm very fortunate when I believe I don't have like that overly addictive gene. But no, like I know one little sip of some wine and it was a different person behind the eyes.
It changes the chemistry. Some people, it changes their chemistry. You're like, oh, this is a different person.
Yeah, like I could see it was a different person I was talking to. And that to me, maybe that's why I don't, because I know how some people can, and I had real bad experiences. Like this girl, and I was in love. Like this was long before comedy. Mm-hmm. But I, like she'd go crazy, attack me with knives. And,
she was like that, huh?
Yeah, and I would just be like, calm down. Calm down, baby. I love you. It's all good.
Yeah. People wild out when they get fucked up. Like,
but how do you get in? And then we're going to this, it's a whole other subject, but like to get people who need to like be sober. Yeah, that's a hard thing too. Because I've dated a girl. I'm like, you need to be sober. Like you need to never touch. Cause we'd be in the bed, we'd be asleep, and it'd be like, we go to sleep at like 1, 2 or something like that, and then it's like 4. She's like, you could just tell she's like up, like restless. Yeah. And then I'm all of a sudden she's like, I want a shot. You want a shot? I'm like,
oh, really?
Damn.
I'm like now? She's like, yeah, I'm just gonna get a shot really quick, and then she like get up, go take like a few shots, and then be like,
Pass
and then all of a
out.
sudden then she like have like a bring a drink back next to the bed. Like,
Oh shit.
and I was like, well, you need to not. It's like you're going.
Oh, you
ham.
have, like, a problem.
Like, I'm like, oh, you're so cute. You're just the cutest little like. If you saw her in public, you'd be like, there's no way.
Yeah.
But she was turning up, man. I was like, that was her all the
That
time.
wears you down. That she ain't gonna be the cutest little thing drinking at 4 a.m. No,
you fucking deteriorates you.
that fucks your skin up quick.
Dude, like, yeah, it does. I don't know. You can't really tell people, though. It's like they have to figure it out on their own.
Yeah,
Because if you're like, oh, you have a problem, people will get really defensive.
Yeah, they're like,
and
oh, fuck you.
Fuck
Yeah,
you.
Yeah. Because like, who are you?
Yeah.
Now, as for the dating, this is basically on the same subject.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
2020 has changed. It's going to change how people date forever.
He's going on walks.
Dude,
Yeah, right.
All right, so this is like you were saying, it's taking everybody back to like a base level. Like now is the one time where the amount of money I feel like a dude has doesn't matter. Cause like you all you can do is go on walks and shit, like do like really basic shit. So like me and the millionaire, it's just about your mouthpiece now. Just about like your game you spit.
Yeah.
Like
So
that's
what, your mouthpiece?
Like,
I was like,
oh, mouthpiece. Like, that's what we say in the hood, guys. That's what we say in the hood. It's like your mouthpiece. You got mouthpiece. So that's all it's about. It's like, I've been on walks with, like date walks, and I would always ask the girl to meet me for a drink, meet me at the Improv,
Always,
meet me here, have a drink, and like, then there automatically is just like a sexual kind of like undertones to things you don't realize sometimes, like that you don't have during the daytime. You're just walking, you don't know alcohol.
Yeah.
So it's been refreshing. Like I'm like, oh, I could realize I hate somebody or love somebody over a 45-minute walk with no money spent, no whatever, just
no
like
alcohol, no drugs,
just like oh, I vibe with this person or I don't.
now
like,
think if David Murphy right now told January David Murphy that, you'd be like,
man, what's up with, man, fuck all that. I'm trying to drink it up, man, fuck all that.
All of us would have been like that. Like
a
this
walk.
Is, right.
A girl would have said, hey, do you want me for a walk Tuesday? I'd be like, you don't get the fuck off my phone. If you don't like me, just say you don't like me. So we'll go for a walk.
That's the thing, though. Is like this has forced us to be so much more like introspective and like quiet with ourselves, and like had to reevaluate a lot of the way we approach people in situations.
It's really nice. I'm like, I'm gonna keep this in my toolbox. Like,
it's nice.
It's like, I'm like, oh, man, it's kind of like, I don't have an animosity towards women, like for me, like spending which is my choice, like spending an absurd amount of money on the first or second date, and then like somehow blaming her in my head
because she didn't like you.
Yeah, like if she's like, oh man, fuck, I spent and she's like,
that's the one.
Ooh, that's so good.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I would have never guess that would have came out of it, but it is a back to basics kind of thing. Like when your grandpa was hitting on Grammys.
Mima.
With the first time I went on a date with a chick, and I was like, all right, we're starting. I went on a walk, and we were like, we vibed really well. I was like, you want to just hang out? And she's like, yeah, sure. And then like literally, I was like, I have a blanket in my car, and like we're gonna go to a park. We literally went to Ralph's and got fruit and water, and then like sat on a blanket for like 2 hours and just talked.
Wow.
And it was like just
gives
like
me anxiety.
dope. Like I was like, wow, this is like I never would have done this ever in my life. Like never.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is it's forcing me to do that.
See, that's nice though.
Yeah, I think I feel like the women I've talked to, have been on dates with, they at least feel like you see them as a person,
right?
Versus like, oh, this dude's
just a sexual object,
right? Like, Instead of seeing somebody all like dressed up at night, going out to get fucked up.
Damn, look at you! Like,
but isn't it crazy? Like, it makes you also reevaluate how many times you've been in those situations where it's like, oh, the only time I was ever connecting with people was when I was like out and fucked up and like sexualizing them, and now it's like, you go on a walk with a girl and you're like, okay.
You have better text. It's just everything's like it's weird. The connection or the relationship you guys have now is a little bit better,
right?
So I appreciate that. Like
totally.
What I'm trying to think what else is dating. Like
what's the best way to meet now?
You gotta have a bar in your pocket. All these like Hinge or Tinder, like Tinder sucks, but like all these like dating apps is like it's this pandemic is forcing us to use the tools that we've always had, but like you have to.
Okay,
use them.
My thing about the dating apps, aren't there just too many fake profiles?
No. You got certain apps. No, she's like no
fake profiles.
He's like
everybody's so real.
On Craigslist?
No, like there's
Bumble used to have those back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. Because if you think about it, it made sense because when you're dating an app, right? Say you start off, right? Say you first start day one. Say you have 200 people who join. you click through your you would only be able to click through like 10 people. You know what I'm saying? If you were like you had like certain specifications you wanted. So in order to keep people on there, I think they got caught because they were putting fake profiles to keep people like they would match and then never reply. So then you'd be like, oh, I'm getting some matches. Like, okay, I'm in the game. Like I got one girl and I matched with 5 people. One person replied, but so they were doing that and they got caught for that. But that's how they kept people joining. Because if you go in there and it's like you go through and they're like, oh, you've ran out of people. You're like, damn, I've been on the shit for 2 days and I've ran out of all the people in the thing. And you're like, I'm not getting on the app anymore. So they were like,
so you think they were creating fake profiles?
They got caught. They did.
But for men,
bumbled it in the beginning.
But for men though, it's probably because like the girls get hounded.
Oh yeah.
Women get hounded.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I would download dating apps for like 2 days, and then I would get so pissed off that I would just delete them.
Getting too many matches.
And I would just like be looking at the guys and getting like mad. I'm like, why is your fucking hat like that? Why are your shoes like I was getting so judgmental. Or their answers would be like, I enjoy tennis with my brother on the weekends. And I was like, oh, fuck you. Fuck you. You know, and then I was like, I'm getting mad at these men for no reason, and it's like making me a bad person.
Yeah. Just clowning.
Yeah, I would just fucking clown and like it's so judgmental.
That's really, really
Who are you,
funny.
fucking guy? Get out of here. Yeah.
This is so what? How do you then meet dudes right now? Are you dating someone?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. How long?
We started dating in July.
This is the pandemic.
July.
Well,
yeah.
that was what I'm getting at.
We started dating. We got serious. I would say like maybe 3 months ago, but we like met each other in July, and we're kind of like figuring it out.
Well, that's cool. So
through mutual friends.
Oh, see,
that's good. Old school.
I think that is usually the safest way to date.
Yeah. To have like your friends who can like vouch for
someone that you've already kind of peeped just a little bit, but like maybe the corner of your eye.
Yeah, I like girls my boys have already hooked up with. I'm playing.
Like earlier in the night.
I'm like 1 degree of separation. I'm like, it's amazing.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because you know what to expect.
God, remember the fucking phrase "homie hopper"?
Oh yeah.
The word. Fucking homie hopper.
I went out with a girl the other day who did that shit. Like where you hung out, and then she was like my boy. She knew my boy. They were just friends because she knew his ex-girlfriend. Hung out. I come out. We're eating, and then she's like, she goes, she texts him, oh, Murph's cool. You should. What's up with your boy Murph? Cool. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Like whatever. We end up talking, go out like on a walk, like me for a walk, whatever. And this is kind of cool. We had this is really kind of cool. I was like, you want to eat? And she's like, yeah. So we go pick up Mexican food, right? And she has a Jeep, and we had like a picnic in the back of her Jeep, parked on a random street, and just like put a blanket down. And like sat in the back of her Jeep and like, ate and listened to music on the radio, right? And talked for like hours.
Wait, when was this?
This is like probably a few months ago.
This is
pandemic dating.
Yeah, pandemic, yeah, because there was nothing open.
Right, okay.
Maybe it was the beginning, a little bit, 2 months after, and then she, but then the whole time she kept bringing up my boy, the dude. Like I was like, what the fuck?
Wait, did she used to fuck him?
No, but it was like weird. You know, girls do this when they want to hook up with their friend. They don't even realize how obvious they are. Maybe guys do. They're like, what's up with your boy, like, Ted? Like, have you talked to Ted? Like,
she was straight going out with friends with you, trying to hook up with your boy.
Weird. Then she went out with him later because I told him, I was like, bro, she wants you.
Oh, really?
And then he was like, yo, she did the same thing with me about you.
But do you think it's maybe like because that's her only connection is like she keeps talking about him because she's like, oh, that's your friend. We have this one thing in common.
That's possible. It's possible. The only thing is like when girls are like, oh, where is he at tonight? We should call him. Text him. I'm like, why? Like, we're fucking hanging out. Like, why are you want to text my boy? I mean, I'm like,
we love attention. Women love attention. Like anybody.
Yeah, text him. See where he's at. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I can honestly see myself doing some shit like that. So I'm like, no, I get that.
That's so amazing. Yeah, but you're right. That's a good woman's perspective. I didn't see that side of it. It might be just it.
Now, are you dating anyone?
No.
You know, you're doing your best.
We're out in these streets.
No, I understand.
He's walking around.
Now, have you had mask sex?
Who
the fuck has mask sex?
I know someone who hooked up with a new person. She's like, I'll have sex, but we have to keep our masks on.
But they're inside of each other.
No, but she's looking one way. He's, doggy
so
style.
That is such fucking horse shit.
I believed the
Skin-to-skin
story.
contact.
I believed the story, though.
No, like, well, so my thing with the mask thing, I
thought it was strange too. I don't think I didn't.
You're like, it was me.
I have had women meet me out for like a walk date or meet, like a couple, like a few, who were like super vigilant about the virus, like super like, and I'm like, why in the fuck are you meeting me out if you're so scared about it? Like, just so
just a rando,
just like meeting me. One girl wouldn't take. She had her hat on low and like her mask, and she would not take. So I have no idea to this day what she looked like.
You know what she looks like.
Shut the
so
front
weird?
door.
I was like, yo,
she wouldn't even be like.
I tried to do it. I go, hey, this is me, and she was like, okay, can you say I'm a little bit, 6 feet, and then like we walked, and she was like social distancing walking. I was like, why are you here? She was, and I'm like,
scared of
what
it,
the fuck? Like, just don't go out. I think you should stay at home.
Right.
But
yeah.
It's like,
okay, now, do you have any? If you saw her again, would you have any way to identify her?
No. And she had dyed hair. And she had different color hair before. But her pictures were like brunette, and she was fucking blonde. I don't even know it was her. She got to send a friend. It could have been her homegirl. She said to like walk with me. I literally no idea.
How long was the walk?
I went to Griffith, so it was like 40 minutes.
Damn.
Was it fun or was it not fun?
No, I was like, just like, it's like you're doing crowd work in a crowd that don't want to talk to you. It's like, it's like you're in a show doing crowd work.
Well, the thing is, like, you're trying to crack jokes and break the ice, and you can't even tell.
You can't see their fucking face.
If the person, my goodness.
I told my friends this is the best thing. I was like, trying to flirt with a chick through a mask where she can't see your face expressions and
like licking
smile.
your lips.
Yeah.
What if that's how you flirted?
It's like, damn, you lick your lips. That's all you do. It's like it's the worst time for you. And I'm like, it's like texting in person.
Like you're trying to accentuate your shit.
I'm smiling. I'm biting my lip. Also, I'm gonna go. She's like, she's seeing none of it. She's like a sarcastic joke just gets seen as like the truth.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, hopefully I don't kill you. And that's all she heard. She didn't see my face.
She can't see your fucking face. It's so crazy. It's so crazy that we can't see each other, and like, I started getting lip injections during this, and I'm like, nobody can see them. Nobody can fucking see them.
So why get them during the pandemic?
Why? Because what the fuck else is there to do?
That's so funny. One of the comments on the video, someone called you Miss Hot Lips.
That's amazing.
On what?
On the $300 Craigslist costume contest.
That's so funny, really.
Yeah,
so funny,
I'll tag you. Yeah, so
Hot Lips podcast.
Yeah.
So
getting all these fucking body mods during this time.
Do they
no
hurt?
one can
Do they
tell.
hurt? Did it hurt?
It fucking hurts like shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how many do you have to get?
They just like.
My
really?
buddy's a plastic surgeon, and I used to work for him, like the social media tape stuff. I got to tell you, there's nothing that he does that does not hurt people.
Really?
There's nothing. Like I saw him do nose job, where they cut the nose and lift this. Boy. Like liposuction?
No. I was watching videos of liposuction the other day on TikTok.
Oh my God.
Ew,
no.
the doctors are just like, it's so funny because they like rip it open and they're like playing with the fat and like burning it.
And
they're
like, sucking it out. Yeah, and they got to burn it to cut. Oh my God. And the smell.
Fuck it.
There's nothing that he does. But I gotta say, I mean, those people are artists though too, like anyone else. Those doctors, what they do. Now, actually, year in review topic. When the world changed, what's the conditions where you guys knew the world was it's changed? Like when do you
when they started shutting restaurants down? I was like, yeah, this is
when
serious.
they shut comedy clubs down. When that first time the Laugh Factory got shut down that weekend, I was like, nah.
See,
when they shut Comedy Store down,
I was like, this shit really happening?
See, I don't know when that happened because I was on the road with Amir and then Michael Q, and I got sick as shit. And I was quarantined for like 2 months, and because I knew I had it. I had 101-degree fever.
Yeah, I remember that.
But I was so I don't remember how it shut down in LA. Because by the time I came out of everything was shut down.
I'll be honest that when it first happened, it was kind of like camp to me. I was like, oh, this is kind of cute.
3 weeks.
Like,
it's fun. Remember, they were like, it'll be 3 weeks.
This is kind of cool. Like,
yeah, that's what everyone.
Wow, there's nobody on the streets. Wow, this is kind of cool. You can walk outside and like, there's nobody outside driving.
Right,
it's crazy.
For the first few months, like I didn't drive at all.
Yeah, save gas. I was walking. I was doing night walks and shit.
Hell
like,
yeah.
I got lights for my shoes. Like
I
did.
That's so
I got
funny.
these little LED.
Year in review.
It's a
LED
Shark
light.
Tank. It's a Shark Tank.
Yeah.
I've seen every episode of Shark Tank.
I know.
I'll tell you fucking that.
Hookers
So funny.
by my house wear those same shoes, by the way.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, no, they're LED things.
These hookers wear these at night.
Well, you don't want to
stroll.
That's
You
so
see 'em.
funny. So you can see them.
Well, you don't want to hit the cracks. I understand from the stripper's perspective.
Or see a John sees
John.
you. John can see you from a long distance. He sees red, blue, green, red, blue, green, red, blue, green.
No, I mean, mine stay white. I
Oh,
don't
okay. Yeah, okay. You're
Mine
like-
are just white lights.
that's 1,000% something I'm seeing on Jefferson and Crenshaw.
That's so-
Driving home.
All my
funny.
colored lights are in this room.
Uh,
So yeah, you guys, when the comedy club shut down, but everybody thought it was just going to be like 3 weeks.
Yeah, literally, it was 3 weeks.
4
Remember, like,
weeks.
everybody
Yeah,
was
then-
like tweeting about it, and they're like, 3 weeks, that's nothing. We're fine.
Yeah. And then girls start shutting up vaginas. That's when I knew when girls were like, nah. I'm like, yo, can I
No,
come through?
no
They're like,
pussy.
nah. You're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, this is getting serious.
But then all the shit went down. Then all the riots and the
oh
protests.
yeah, that's when the George Floyd.
Isn't
thing.
it crazy that all of that has happened during this
They
time?
were going down
Wow,
right down
like
Hollywood
7 months, 8
Boulevard.
I
months.
went to so many of them. Yeah.
Yeah, like
And making motherfuckers like, I got time to do this shit to protest.
Right?
I got nothing but time.
yo,
buddy.
still,
Crazy.
I still say one of the, and this is not to like talk down on any protesting, nothing, but the funniest shit I saw for any protest is right there outside of the Laugh Factory. I was walking Hazel. And Tehran got up and is like, the Laugh Factory has always supported Black Lives Matter.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
Tuesday,
No, he didn't.
every
He gave
Tuesday
out
at
his
8
nights.
o'clock.
He said, you guys need tickets?
Stop.
You guys need
You
tickets?
need tickets every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. The Tehran.
That's so funny.
So
He's
funny.
talking about that. That's hilarious. I love Tehran. He's like, yo.
so funny.
He's like, yo, when this is all over, if you guys need something to do on Wednesday night at 8
got
o'clock,
you.
And it was literally writing like a heated,
That's so
passionate
funny.
it's a
Black
2 drink
Lives.
minimum. Just 2 drinks. Free to get in.
Stop.
I
That's
swear-
amazing.
God,
and I-
comics are the worst. Fuck off.
It's so great. We're like, because every comic is like, I remember when it was, when they first did the protest and they were meeting in front of the Laugh Factory.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, and it's like, there was this little bug and you like, fuck, there's like 300, 400 people here.
Yeah.
If I got on the mic right now, you're like, it's like, damn. You're like, if I could just, man.
I thought
haven't
Tehran,
got up in a long
I thought
time.
Tehran was about to
People
spit.
start going through their jokes just in case. You start going through your shit like, all
At
right,
a
I'm gonna
protest.
open up with
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Just in case somebody's like, hey, you want to do 5?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, we got a real funny comedian here. Bringing up
it's
David
like,
Murphy.
come up and do 6. You always gotta be ready. You gotta like, oh crowd, I gotta look at my set. Just
So
just in
funny.
case somebody says
I started like doing material in fucking AA meetings because I'm like, I don't have anywhere else
that's
to do
so funny.
material.
Like,
There's nowhere else to run
I
fucking
bet you
3
were
minutes.
crushing though.
Oh my God.
I bet it was
crushing.
hit because it's like you have the timing.
Yeah.
And they don't get like.
I would end every fucking share with like, hey, I guess I'll go relapse now. Like if I didn't get laughs. And I was like, wait,
I
I'm
guess
not
I'll
supposed
go
to,
relapse.
I'm not
That's so
supposed to
funny.
get laughs.
I feel like I go relapse. It's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Now, how is AA in pandemic? Do you still go?
Yeah, I go sometimes, but the Zoom meetings fucking suck.
Oh, it is Zoom.
I went to
It's
one
awesome.
online just to check it out.
Yeah,
I
it's-
like visit like because my friend. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to see it. Like,
Yeah.
it was actually, I was like, man, I'm so used to the interaction. I almost
Yeah.
like want to talk, like have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like it seemed like it was more just like, all right, you get 10 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever.
That's
time
it, yeah.
And it's talk to your say your shit, and then the next person.
It's
You gotta
hard not
listen
to
a lot.
crosstalk. It's,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, I want to piggyback off that story. That's a fucking great story.
There's a lot of that. Yeah, I hear people say things, and I'm like, oh wait. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, because somebody might be getting to something emotional and you can't.
You just can't, like, you're not supposed to even, like, if people say things and shares, like, you don't even, like, you can't, like, have conversations, you know? You just,
yeah.
like, do your
Yeah,
3
yeah,
minutes,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like an open mic. You do your 3 minutes.
But
you do your 3
the
minutes.
Zoom
Sure.
stuff has to be less helpful because when you
Yeah.
don't you like when you're with someone and someone's like really emotional and letting it out, don't you feel it?
Yeah, it also it's like the real life meetings were fun because like you could get like coffee and like food, and there's always like hot people at meetings.
Oh
You
yeah,
go to,
I
like,
used to want to go to some.
they're so fucking hot. The people that are sober in LA are so hot.
Are there hotter people at the AA ones or the drug one?
I don't know because I've never done it. I've never gone to NA.
Okay.
But
I was thinking about that. I was like,
yeah.
Hollywood's.
No, but the
WeHo's.
The one there on Robertson, that lodge, the Elks Lodge or whatever, that was the famous. That's the famous.
Just like public game.
That's the famous one where people go like, I met Spielberg's son
I
there.
know, it's such a fucking thing too in LA. They're like, people go to meet people in Hollywood.
You're like, so what do you do? Like,
so what do you? Yeah, you look familiar, right?
Yeah.
Fucking LA.
Fucking LA.
Okay, now I guess my next thing is like the Zoom. Like what, since we're right on it, like, do you think we're gonna, okay, Zoom has kind of it's I can't do Zoom show. Like I try.
Fuck a Zoom show. People love them though. People are like getting used to them.
They are, but I try, but I can't tell if I'm bombing. I was in Vegas 2 weeks ago.
Tell.
No, and I forgot I had a show, and I'm like waiting, and they literally put a magician ahead of me, and I'm like,
a magician on Zoom?
Zoom.
That's gotta be
and
hard.
The guy's,
That's harder than comedy.
He's juggling.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Juggling and doing magic ahead of me.
Like, doing a magician on Zoom is probably
and there's like 35 audience members, and you don't hear anything, and they get to me, I'm like, this guy did everything but train a dog. Like, I ain't got nothing for you.
The only cool Zoom show that like looks worth it are the super secrets, you know, where they like do them in the like warehouse.
He did that.
Did you?
Yeah, I've done it. Yeah.
And they have all the computer screens.
Oh yeah,
up?
the comedy. I did the second one. Mm-hmm.
Wait, that looks so cool.
That was a good show. I bombed.
Oh, did you?
Because
it was super secret, right?
Yeah. Because I hadn't done anything, and I was like, the stupid comedic part, the stupid comedian in me was like, I want to do new stuff.
Of course.
Because I haven't done comedy in 4 months and 5 months, and I was like, I got
You're like, I don't believe
new thoughts of this pandemic.
Yeah.
And I had not gotten up or like said it in front of anybody, and I get there, there's like who was on the show? It was like all these people. It was like Taylor Thompson. Who's her boyfriend?
Sam Morrill.
Sam Morrill.
They're broken up now.
Brad Williams. Hunter Hill, and then somebody else, I forgot, Irene too. And I was like, oh cool, and they had me I was the first one up, like kind of a host of it. So I warmed up, so I'm like, literally, all this shit's new to me, and I'm like, oh man, it's crazy. And there's no stool. Like, usually you could like leave your phone on the stool, kind of little trick we do, like walk by. And I was like, I was just too like, I didn't know what to ask for one. I got the show going, I just fucking. So during my 5 minutes, I was doing okay.
Where do you even look when you're doing it?
Yeah.
So you're just looking like this, like you're like you're like it's so weird. And so I was getting laughs. I was like, okay, I'm cool. I'm trying to remember my jokes, and then like 4 minutes in, it starts getting like silent.
Oh.
Like 4 minutes, and I'm like, fuck, and I'm doing my I'm going to one of my old shits, and I'm like, that always gets laughing, it gets nothing. But I'm seeing people smiling. It's getting nothing, and I'm like,
you're
it's
like
quiet.
so close to them too.
It's quiet, like, and I'm seeing like, like people respect, like they're like, oh fuck, this kid's eating shit. And I'm sure you just know what's happening, right? And I get off stage, and the guy's like, hey man, he's like, good stuff, man, funny. The audio went out during your set, so you couldn't hear them, but I was like stuttering. I stuttered sometimes because I was like I was just nervous. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm bombing in front of all these people that I respect, and I'm like, bro, really? And he was like, yeah, but they could hear you, but you can hear them.
No fucking way.
So I didn't know that, but because the first part you could hear them.
Yeah.
So I just thought it went from laughing to like silent.
Completely silent.
And I was like,
and for those
I'm
watching,
bombing.
he's like doing a comedy show in the Matrix with TVs all around
completely
him.
silent.
It was like silent. It was like, I was like, oh my God, that's not hitting.
That's
so I'm like, man, what's else going on? What's going on?
No, isn't it so crazy though too? Like as soon as you start thinking you're bombing, how you just really start eating shit.
Oh, and it's one of those things in comedy. Like when you see another comedian having, it's hard to take your eyes off of it.
Yeah. And they were like, I walked off, and I think Taylor,
because you're like, how bad are they gonna do right now?
No,
they looked at me. There was no words of encouragement, nothing. It was like, yeah, man, tough. And walked off. I was like, I want to kill myself.
Zoom shows are awful because especially like if it's just you in your room too, it's like you don't have anybody listening to you. Like there's nothing more embarrassing than being alone in your living room, like talking in your computer screen, not being able to hear people laugh.
Oh my God.
Fucking idiot.
Well, now, how did you in your first 3 episodes doing your solo podcast, like how have you grown? Like, because I've seen you become more comfortable.
Yeah.
And maybe that's also getting your mic set up so you're not holding the mic. So you're, because that first one, when you were moving it around, you were a little conscious of that too, Like, how have you, because you're speaking more, like you have more, your thoughts are more put together.
Yeah.
So is that like now that you've listened and watched yourself, is it same like comedy?
A little bit.
Do you write your stuff down like topics, or you just kind of freestyle?
No, like I have people email me.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
Like their stories. So I have those lined up, so I can just but that came in the third episode because I think I was fumbling a lot in the first two because I was like having to like go through the emails and like pick them, and this time I like sorted out like, okay, I'm gonna like have a beginning, middle, and end like in a set, your opener or your fucking middle and your closer.
Well, see, that's the thing. I saw your first and then the last one, so I didn't see the second.
The second one, and the sound was off in the second one, and I was like screaming a lot into the mic. And
doesn't that make you almost want to cry?
Yes.
So I've had it didn't record.
Huh?
It didn't record sound.
No, it did, but it it got fucked up.
You're peaking, or there's something scratching, or whatever.
And then so many people would listen to it, and they were like, "Oh, it's too low," and then I had to like take it all offline, and then like fix the sound, and then it was like too high, and people were like, "You're screaming a lot," and it and I was like,
your levels are all fucked up.
The levels are all fucked up. Yeah.
Well, trust me. Yeah, I brought in one piece of equipment, and it threw everything off. And I tried to do a live episode, and I started out at 600 people had gotten on, which was wonderful, and it was shot down.
Oh,
and I'm
the
like,
worst.
Why? What? And then someone's like, oh my God, like they're texting people who are in the room. They're like, tell them to shut it off. It's horrible, like the sound. Yeah. And it's like to get those people back.
To get the people back after you lose them, you're like, fuck.
You have to work and prove yourself. And I wanted to cry that night. I'm like, I worked so hard to get,
That's how I felt like after the second episode when things got all fucked up. I was like, fuck, this took me like 8 hours, like plus like record. Like it took me so long to like, get this figured out, and it's still fucked up. And then you're like, you like lose audience members, and you're like, no, please come back. It's like in stand up when you're like, no, I swear to God, I'm funny.
I'm not that bad.
You walk in the room. Oh man.
Yeah, so that's why, and then I decided, I just got to keep putting them out. Like, I can't.
Consistency is key.
And I've gotten, like I say, I can tell the way people drop off, but I've at least gotten better at listening.
Yeah.
And I've always prided myself on a good listener and a good observer, but this room has genuinely taught me things that I thought I was already an expert at.
And isn't it humbling?
Yes.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think to me, like that's one of the things I'm going to remember from this year. It's like getting out of maybe the rut that I was in, and I wasn't necessarily in a rut because I was getting a lot of stage time. I was, I wasn't as respected as I thought I should, but I didn't, I was plateauing.
Yeah.
And I think this, like, being forced to do other things.
Yeah. And also, like, people see when, I feel like since we're all online, we're all watching each other now online. We're like seeing who's like putting in work during the pandemic. You know what I mean?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely.
Which is also anxiety inducing too, because it's like, do I have to like be working this whole fucking time? Like,
well, I try to, like, I see what other people are doing, but I try not to do, in poker they call it stack envy, where you see how many chips someone else has, and you're more worried about their chips instead of playing your game.
Right,
And I try not to worry, like, about that, you know? And that's hard, but that's like a mantra for everything in life. You know?
It is.
That's something like that man, not only has it taken me a lifetime to achieve, I still have to work on it all the time.
It's so hard not to like live in a state of comparison.
Yes.
And be like, look who got this. Why didn't I get this? Da 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 da.
Yeah, because you naturally sometimes in life think it's supposed to be like a line.
Yeah.
Like hey, I was in line first, motherfucker. Like wait, what? Everybody's skipping me. Everybody's like cutting me.
Right.
It's like, but it's also too. I realize that I may have those feelings sometimes, but then I also got to realize that I've cut some people, or been done things or gotten things that you probably shouldn't have based on time in the game or whatever. Or like,
you have stuff that people are probably like, damn, I wanted that without even knowing that you have that,
See, I never, but you're totally right. Like, I know some of the animosity that would come my way because people would be like, why is he getting it instead of me?
Right.
And I think for me personally, it would hurt me because I try to be so inclusive of everything. Like one of the things I was taught very early, if you got food on your plate, make sure everybody's eating, you know? Mm-hmm. And I try and I do my best. Mm-hmm. When it comes to that, it's just sometimes people get left out.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard in this business because this business isn't necessarily about inclusion.
It's not.
You know, it's not.
Really not.
Yeah. You know?
It doesn't make any sense, this business.
I was like, you know, so many comics are like, I hear comics and they'll be like, oh man, like, why can't this be just about like being funny? You know, like, and I was like, we're actually lucky it's not. I was like, we'd be at the back of the fucking line. You don't think there's 200 comics in LA who could headline and I've got fucking hours of material.
Hours. They could do 2
who gotta go perform out of the state because they can't get time here because they're not young or not good looking or they're not or the fuck like you know nothing special about them but they're funny. I was like, bro, there's like you know you're people somebody's at year 4 and they're like, oh man, why can't this be about being funny? I'm like, Gary Goldman can't get up here. I'm like, are you
it's
fucking
so much
out your
more.
mind? It's like, I'm like, these dudes who've been in the game. I'm like, if it was like that, everybody from New York, everybody would just come here and fucking kick everybody's, you know, like, we'd be everybody, the people who've been doing it for a long time.
What have you guys heard about New York comedy right now?
Popping. It sounds like they've been doing a lot. It sounds like they've been doing a lot of fucking
Are they doing
there.
underground like shit or what?
I'm not sure. I'm
not sure either, but it just sounds like there's a lot going on there.
Outside in people, Texas, right? The Austin thing.
Yeah, Texas, everybody like left.
Yeah, left to Austin. It was like, I got a ticket actually.
Well, what the fuck are we gonna do though? Like when things open back up here?
I know.
I thought about that. I was like, do I leave? And I was like, but then what?
Yeah.
I've put in too much. I've tried to leave LA and I always end up back.
Have you?
Yeah, man. Like I before comedy, I thought I was going to be an actor. Like I've been in the union, the SAG union, 13, 14 years. I did background work. I did everything I could to get on sets. I went to Stella Adler.
Oh, really?
You know?
Did you?
Yeah, on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah,
I did everything. And then, you know, I got the comedy bug and acting became, you know, whatever.
That's
secondary. And I did every job I could to just keep comedy alive. And that's why, like, I thought I was in line somewhere, you know, and I was going, and then I kind of started realizing there is no line, like you were saying. And I was in this weird place where it's like, I have to make a change. And I did, you know, I filmed my documentary and I'm 3 months a little delayed because of COVID. But I have a movie that I know is going to get bought. I don't know for how much, but I know I'm at least going to make my money back and people will see it. And it's a good movie. And it's we went to Area. You remember when people stormed Area 51?
That was like at the beginning of quarantine. That was
August. No, that was August last year.
Was it?
August,
I thought it was January.
August, September. No.
God, I remember like there's all the World War III stuff and then all the Area 51 stuff.
Yeah. So I took a team of people there and I gave them all kind of roles and we filmed a documentary and
we went.
Yeah, and that was like one of the last crazy events that I remember. Before COVID.
That was fun.
Like they were all worried that, they're going to do the event again next year and your movie's not going to be, like people are just going to do another movie and you're just going to get buried. So I'm like, we have to get it done. And now it's like a piece of American history that I captured.
What the fuck was Area 51 like?
Nothing.
It was literally, it was.
Aren't we like not allowed near it?
I think they publicized so much, even if they did have like testing spaceships or the fuck, like they'd be like, we're just gonna chill for this weekend. Like they knew some people were coming. I'm like, they literally, if they were doing it every weekend, they're like, we're just gonna not fucking fly to things this weekend.
Did you see that shit that Joe Rogan posted yesterday? That was like, in the next 120 days, the Pentagon's gonna have to come out with the truth.
Okay, there's
aliens.
Okay, there's a couple things that you have to understand about when the government releases any information about aliens. The government. They are so like they're playing like 4D chess. You know what I'm saying? Like four-dimensional chess. They're working on plans that you and I can't fathom. And for them to just piecemeal a little out, it's for something later that they're going like nothing happens without the Pentagon really knowing because those are those people that run this country.
People can't really. There's no fucking way people could. I mean, I want to know, but there's no way
people could handle it.
Yeah, there's no fucking way to be like, why would you go to work? If you knew,
that's so true.
If you know a fucking spaceship.
Why would you do anything?
Like,
why would you go to church?
Fuck all of this.
Yeah.
Paying a bit. You want me to pay rent?
Yeah,
And
that's
the
so
fucking
true.
spaceship might land. Like, get the fuck out of here. Bro.
Yeah, nobody would do anything.
It's like,
Yeah.
stop everything.
Yeah.
It would seem so stupid. I'd be like, nah. It would just put everything in.
God,
like,
that's so fucking true, though. It puts everything into perspective.
You'd be
Well,
like,
what-
no, I'm not paying none of this shit.
Who would go to any religious thing? Like,
Yeah, you'd be like,
oh, so God, all the gods just made up if there's
Yeah.
aliens,
Yeah.
right?
I went down a fucking rabbit hole yesterday. Rabbit hole of fucking my like. I'm on unemployment right now and I didn't have access to my money. And then I like started spiraling. I was like, well, what if, like in the Great Depression, how if like we all woke up and we had no money in our bank accounts, like what the fuck would we do? What would any of us do? We would like, and I just went down that hole of like, what does that, what does it actually mean? Like, what does money even actually fucking mean? Like, it's like dictating our lives and for what?
Well, the rabbit hole of what money is crazy because it's just a made up.
It's made up.
It's just a made up thing.
I got all fucked up thinking about it. I was like, you know what matters is like people. Like we matter. Like being alive matters. But like that shit doesn't.
It's all like there's. I watched this Suge Knight documentary the other day, and he was saying that how he signed his first deal and he got a check for $5 million or something like that at one point when in death row, and he was like from the hood. You know, he said he hadn't seen that much money ever. He went to the bank and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna put this $5 million, but I need to see it." And they're like, "Excuse me?" They're like, "Sir, we can't do it." He's like, "Nah, I need to see the fucking money. I need to see y'all got $5 million and the thing." So they had to walk him into the say and see the money. He was like, "Cause I ain't never seen that much money." He's like, "I just physically had to see this shit." He's like, "Nah, man, I'm not giving you all this fucking check. I need to see the money. See my money. I want to see my money."
Yeah.
Wow.
Because if I want to come here and get $1 million cash, I want to fucking know I could do it.
God.
And he was like, and they took him to a vault or some shit apparently.
See, but the even more fucked up thing is like the people who have really like gamed this out, who have like started like utopian societies with no money on islands. Yeah. Just like that remember the Leonardo DiCaprio movie, where he goes to like Bangkok and he lives on that island.
No.
For a little while, like whatever. It's like the whole point is it's like human ego always gets in the way.
Right.
Like, like they have to have more or want more and that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like as much as like it would be great to not have money, like it
keeps us in check too. It keeps people in check. Like if it was all just, moneyless place, all of us would just be running around doing whatever the fuck we wanted.
Yeah.
With no repercussions, which is crazy that we have to be kept in check like that.
It's The Beach. This is the movie. Yeah, this is the one up here.
Leo DiCaprio?
Yeah, the Beach.
That's a young Leo.
Yeah, that's a super young Leo, but that's a crazy movie about him like going off to some utopian society and just like everything you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Now, I guess year in review, what are you guys doing for like what are you watching? Like what are you spending instead of doom? Like I know we're all doom scrolling,
yeah.
But besides doom scrolling, what are you watching? Like what takes up your time?
I've gotten into TikTok. I've been watching a lot of TikTok.
Really? My uncle's getting into that. He's 67. He just like spends hours on it.
She's the front door.
But he watches stock stuff. He's a stock broker, ex-stock broker. So he just watches stock tips and shit. He's like, man, everything's on here. He watches stock shit all day.
I watched Handmaid's Tale. I fucking
blew through that. I think that was a big one. That was a big one.
Was it good?
It's dark. It's like dark
I don't like
I
don't like overly abusive things.
It was pretty overly abusive. It's definitely overly abusive.
Well, that's all. Those things. It makes me feel bad. Like I don't. Yeah. Oz fucked me up as a kid. Remember the HBO show Oz?
No, I never watched it.
Yeah, I don't. It was an HBO show about prisons, and I watched and it really. And I don't like prison shows.
Really?
I don't want to go to prison.
I watch a lot of prison shows.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of scary movies. Really scary fucking.
What's the best? Do you guys have one like a real good thing you've seen this year?
Oh my god! Did you guys see Soul?
Oh no, not yet. Is it
not
good?
Yet?
Is it on? Is it on HBO Max?
So good. It's on Disney Plus.
Okay.
I saw half of, and it's very very well done. Pixar does really good stuff, and
so good.
Whoever did Soul must have done like DMT or something, right? Because it's very trippy. There's a lot of psychedelic.
There's nothing like it.
No, there's a lot of psychedelic things in there that like I've seen this when I was tripping balls.
God, I was like, it was a very powerful movie.
Really?
Yes,
really good, especially like during this time.
Yeah.
Well, you need nice things, Hazel. Be a good girl. Now you need nice. No, you need like nice. What about you, Murph? Like, what do you watch? What do you like?
Watched You know what? I watch. Oh, when Love Island was that Love Island?
Oh yeah,
Love is Blind.
Both of those.
Love is Blind was like huge when the beginning.
What is
of the
that?
shit.
Did you watch the autistic dating show?
Yes. What? And I watched it with Jackson McQueen, and he refused. He was like, "Turn this off. I can't watch." I was like, "Bro, you gotta watch it." I was like, "Bro, we gotta watch it."
Shut up.
What was that? What's it called?
I'm gonna look right now.
I'm on the spectrum or something.
Love on the Spectrum.
Yeah,
oh my god, it's so good.
Shut
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, no, I watched like 3 or 4 episodes.
Oh my god,
But
I was
remember being
obsessed.
I just remember.
Okay, hold on. Break it down for me because I did not see this.
It's people that are on the autism spectrum being set up on dates with other people that are on the spectrum, and it's the fucking wildest thing.
The awkwardness is real.
Okay,
it's so cringy in a way, but it's also so pure because you're like
innocent. Yeah, you're
it's
like,
so innocent, and they're so like there's no bullshit. It's just people being like, okay, they like meet you and they're like, I don't like you, and then they leave, and you're like,
no social
yeah,
like all the social like shit that we like learned.
Social skills,
yeah,
like things we like. It's like just cut through right to the bullshit. It's like,
oh my god.
Hey,
now do you like that because it makes you feel better, or I know because I to me I feel bad because I try. One of my problems is I have this white knight syndrome. You know, where I feel like I can, help everyone fix everything, and I can't.
Yeah.
And then I end up taking on problems that are either too.
Getting a dog.
Yeah.
No, well,
I'm joking.
I think that she was a wonderful addition to my life. Like I'm
so good.
Hazel. But like, do you like that stuff because it makes you feel good? Like
superior?
No. Because like someone finds happiness and love.
Yeah.
No, because what I'm seeing about it, it's not like it's meant to. No one's poking fun of these people.
No, it's not poking fun of. It makes me feel good because it's like sweet to see people interact in a way that you don't usually see people interact, and to see how like very raw it is, and I like that. I like the realness of.
I love it. That was a good one. I just watched The Undoing. I finished The Undoing last night.
Oh, everybody was watching that.
I watched The Undoing. Yeah, you know what I did that was really got me through this shit is cooking.
Oh yeah,
like I was like, picking out.
No way.
Like I made fucking pasta, like different pastas I'd never made before, and like all kind of shit. My mom taught me how to make gumbo.
Oh,
nice!
Like, hell yeah!
Never knew. So I literally watched her from
Gumbo's so good.
Start to finish.
Well, see, the thing is about ordering.
Oh, hell yeah.
They want us to eat at these restaurants, but they're using way lower quality foods. Or like ingredients. And because I know, because I have a real sensitive stomach, and I'll get to go from places I want to support.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is gross.
Huh?
This is gross. I don't know. It's like I cook a lot though.
I don't. Cook
I love to cook.
Fuck
you're
that.
a great cook. You're a really good cook.
Nice.
I get busy.
I just
That's
felt like
so nice.
I just feel like we're so trained. 'Cause I remember in the first lockdown, right? I cooked at home. Everybody was cooking at home.
Everyone was making bread.
Yeah, it's like everybody was like just all the shit, right? So, and it was funny. I remember when it first opened back up, that May 15th, or when they pushed it back from May 15th, or whatever the day was. And I was with my boys in Santa Monica, and we went out. We were like, oh man, things are open. We went to a restaurant, and 6 of us sat at a table and had like a salad. Somebody had chicken and rice, something like really basic shit. Yeah. And then our bill was like $300. Like for drink, we had 3 drinks apiece. Like,
yeah.
And then we walked this 3 blocks from his apartment. I go, why did we just come here and spend this? We're so trained to spend money. I was like, we didn't talk to anybody because it was all social distance. The same 6 people that are at that apartment went to fucking 3 blocks away and spent $300. And I go, why did we could have cooked at his place? We could have like made all this shit. It was like and spend like $100.
Well, I like cooking because it's the social aspect of it. I like inviting people over when I cook out on the patio. Like we do a poker game. We used to do poker games.
Yeah, that was fun.
And we will. Okay, so I guess now that we've done a lot of year in review, I want to hear, what do you guys think 2021? Like, okay, now, first question, I guess, what do you guys want for yourself 2021 moving forward? But what do you think is going to, like, when is the world? What is your predictions? So we can go back. Right? So we can go back and be like, yo, you were right.
Everybody goes into real estate.
There is, right? I don't know. I have no predictions because what the fuck was this year? Couldn't have seen this shit coming ever. I just
I don't know.
I just want to fucking stay sober. That's really all I give a shit about right now. Is just staying fucking.
Oh, I think you will. You're really good.
That's all I got. Maybe I'll do mushrooms. I'll probably do mushrooms. But like other than that,
mushrooms have been.
That's different. But.
Well, mushrooms have been. There's been quite a bit of study on their use in people like staying sober and helping them.
Yeah, I'm an advocate for them.
Oh, and I absolutely I did an interview. You'd really like the interview I did with this one doctor. He really broke down a lot of the uses for mushrooms and how it can reset the brain, things like that. But I think August is when we might really see comedy shows again. But I see people, they're booked for shows in February and stuff. Like
really? Like in LA, not in California.
Not in California.
I have 2 booked in January, but like I don't have any hope that they'll happen.
Yeah.
What do you think, David? What do you want for yourself? First off, what do you want for yourself 2020?
I don't know, man.
Because you're not only are you're not a good working comedian, you're a working actor.
I mean, I'm done.
You book. You're booked.
But
you're working.
I still feel like a ship lost at sea. I still feel like there's nothing to like. I don't even know a port to go to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't even know like where to dock my fucking ship. Like I'm like what to do. Like so it's like I've been floating, like hoping this shit this like storm ends.
Right.
But and for all intents and purposes, there's no end in sight. Like I don't.
Yeah.
There's no like comedy's gonna open up in next August or something. I'm like my dad's like get into real estate. I'm like I don't.
Literally, yeah.
You got into comedy, so you didn't have to.
Yeah,
do real
exactly.
estate.
He's like, yo, get your real estate license again and help. Come work with me. I'm like, that's the one thing I fucking did not want. But it's like it's becoming this like survival thing. Like, what are you gonna do to survive?
Right.
Like my EDD ran out.
Hopefully, but it's supposed to like replenish again.
I'm like, so I'm like,
are they gonna refill it? Do you know?
That's what some people say, but they're saying some people will not. Everybody will qualify.
Fuck that. What the fuck? If we don't, they can't. They have to give us money.
Bro, so
they can't tell people not to work and shut things down and not give them money.
Like, it's like you're doing these 2 things.
It's so fucking crazy. And literally, it's just like one day at a time on this shit. Like
that's literally how I'm taking it right now. Yeah. When I start to think too much long term, I'm like I go down the rabbit hole. My mind goes crazy. I start to spiral because it's like I need to get my movie done. I need to sell my movie. It's so crazy. And the thing is, like, all my connections, like, I don't even know if some of them even live in LA anymore. Like, you know how
I had like 5 friends who moved to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I had people like from the business. They're like, it's gonna be dead here for too long.
See ya.
I can't. They're putting me on furlough, so I'm out. Like,
I cannot believe, like 1 year ago, I remember going into 2020 being like, "This is a fucking year."
Oh, I was like, yeah. This is, I just same thing. I was like, oh man, comedies is like start popping.
Yeah, start like
popping. Like starting to like there's separation starting to happen. It's like
totally.
Well, like our class, like you, I would say you're one class under me, but like
for sure.
But like they were starting to pick people from like our class, like.
Yeah,
right. Like in my class and the one like yours, people are starting to get their breaks and their chance, and I'm like, look, I'm ready. Like I'll throw 30 up against anyone, and we'll see anyone. Like I was to that point, where it didn't matter who or what night. But then again, like what did fun? And then I was still going through the realization, but like what does no matter how funny I think I am, how well I do, or how many people I get to buy tickets, what's the matter? Like if the industry is like, man, we're passing.
Yeah.
What's the matter? You know,
the comedy clubs. I'm like, what if there's like new bookers?
Well,
like, what if like the bookers are left and now you're back to like
at the Comedy Store? When are we gonna what the fuck's gonna happen there? Are they gonna get shut down? Like, what if the store closes? What if the improv closes?
Will you understand that?
Can you imagine?
Will you understand?
Flappers, not the Flappers, but
the people who own that real estate.
Flappers. That will be the one that survives.
They know they gotta get their money. How's Flappers?
Yeah.
Flappers was almost out of business when they were full capacity.
Now they're selling fucking chicken nuggets and they're
and they're still in business.
So funny.
Flappers is gonna be our last fucking resort.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you're back, huh?
Yeah, we're all gonna have to go get past the Flappers.
Everybody's in Burbank just like on their knees. Please, just please.
The Yoo-Hoo room. Fuck.
God.
That was my first open mic.
Yeah, and then
Was it yours?
No, I went to one at a coffee shop, but I used to go on that Friday, Saturday thing they used to have when it'd be packed and everybody's in that Yoo-hoo room. Yeah.
Marty's was mine.
Marty,
yeah, I know. That's what I did.
I think I went to Marty's once.
Marty's terrible.
Yeah. No, but
I love Marty.
Marty's taught me a lot about the first time I got on stage, Michael Lenoche and Dana Moon, who I think were dating at the time, I think.
That's so funny. He called me today. That's so funny.
That's so funny.
They were in the back, and I thought I was going to be Mitch Hedberg when I first started comedy. I had all these one-liners written, and I'm doing it. And I remember them making fun of me at Marty's. And to this day, I still think about that.
I like one-liners written.
Remember the confidence going into comedy? I had the best first show, and I was like, I'm a fucking queen. And then I just bombed for years after that, and I would just sit in my car and cry.
No, but you know at that 2-3 year mark where you're like, I'm basically a comedy god.
Yeah.
I'm the next.
I think there's a newness. What I realized is that when you first start, there's you may not. I think people don't see it, but people can see that you're new.
Yeah.
But so they're giving you credit for being new, almost like you're oh, this dude's gonna be funny, or she's gonna be funny, because after you once people that wears off, and people are
yeah, we get it.
Yeah, you're oh yeah.
I remember.
Yep.
Murph, when I started getting you up on the improv shows, he was like, yo, bro, I realized after about a couple months, everyone in my family's seen all my jokes.
Yeah, I can't
ask them.
You tap out your resources.
These people are
it's only jokes.
That's the worst when your family starts being you got any new material? And you're fuck you.
Yeah, they don't know how it works. I'm like, bro, I have
fuck.
I'm one show a month, bro. I'm not just trashing this shit.
Yeah.
You're you got anything new? I haven't seen you in 8 months. You're bro, because I only had 8 shows.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, the big comics are having 4 shows and 5 shows a night. And then they're still taking 6 months to fucking run through shit. I'm
totally.
Bro.
I'll tell you, this is one of the reasons why I think I kind of got a little bit passed up on. My 3 years in, I was crushing. This is 4 years actually. I was doing it.
Did you get the House of Blues thing?
Yeah, but that shut down. Improv brings me in, and I had my fans. I had enough heat. Fucking the Improv puts me in front of Netflix, HBO. It was a giant industry thing. And I thought, like Murph said, I was this new comedian and I didn't want to do my old tried and true. Mm-hmm. I got up there, and people were coming up, they were buying me drinks before and whatever, Netflix is here, go kill it. And I get up on stage and it was a 12-minute set. My first 6 minutes was probably the hardest I'd bombed. Ooh. And executives don't want to laugh anyway.
Yeah.
And they're looking at me, and I remember, I still to this day see the visual of me just putting the mic up and quitting and walking off stage.
Did you?
No, of course I didn't. But I saw it. I picked it up and tried to do my next 6. Wow. But these motherfuckers are he's green. He ain't ready.
Yeah.
And it took me, I don't even know if I ever shook. Those people still aren't there, but that, they got notes.
Yeah.
They got, and it's when you bomb hard.
I have had some good bombs.
It sticks with you for a lifetime.
Yes, it does. It fucking shapes you.
I remember I couldn't sleep that night. The girlfriend I was with thought I was gonna kill myself because I was that was my fucking, that was it.
Yeah.
People were talking to me for weeks that just sold out. And I just went up there. I'm going to do brand new 6 up top.
Yeah. So
one after another just kept missing.
Yeah.
And I was just after 6 minutes, I was, so you guys do it. You know what?
Yeah. I do this thing when I start bombing where I start talking shit to myself and people will be like, is she okay? I'll just be okay, I guess that one fucking sucked because I fucking suck, so fuck me. And I'll just go in on myself. Funny. Yeah, it's so bad.
The rabbit hole.
The fucking rabbit hole.
It's a live action rabbit hole.
And people just watch me go down on my own fucking ship.
I saw this girl at the Comedy Store. This is years ago, and she was starting comedy. I don't know. They had one of those I'm a bringer show type.
What was his name? Martin Harris?
Yeah,
Martin
one
Harris,
of those type shows. Yeah, remember Martin Harris? So it was Martin Harris show. And it was
funny comedian.
But it was packed.
2 fucking comics.
It was packed this time, right? And so I was just there hanging out, checking it out. And there was this girl in the back. I happened to walk backstage, just see who was back there, and this girl was like about to go up. Cute blonde chick who I hadn't seen ever at mics or anything. I was like, oh, so she was like, hey, and she had I'll never forget. She had a paper, and it was a monologue. She had like the whole entire like, and I was like, what's that? And she was like, oh, it's my set. I go, oh, you're gonna try to do the whole like a monologue? And she's like, yeah, I got it. I've been practicing all night. I'm like, okay, well, all right, well, yeah, like, okay, cool. Like,
I used to do that.
I was that girl.
I had the model, typed it out.
Bro, she went out, crowd.
I'm sweating thinking about that. I used to be her.
Did she bomb?
Bomb is not even the.
Oh,
like,
no.
When she got up maybe 15 seconds in, people, you see those faces looking at you, and she's like, oh man, and then like, and she paused, and what's that first pause? And I was like, she's like, what are my jokes? What's I gonna talk about?
No,
man, and then it started spiraling. It started, and just like,
no,
she was supposed to have a 6-minute set. She did like 2.5.
Fuck.
And she was like, okay, I'm gonna go.
People
and, like,
don't realize how long 3 minutes is when you start bombing.
I met her backstage. So I saw it, and I was like, she looked at it and she started bawling. As soon as she got, she was like, I'm so fucking stupid. I'm so embarrassed. She started crying. Her coworkers were there, parents, boss, all the whole thing. And I was like, are you practicing? Are you going to mics? She was like, no, but I've been practicing at home. And like, I'm like, oh, but you gotta do this. Keep saying this shit over and over and practice it. And she was like, never did comedy ever again. We're still Facebook friends.
Moved
she's
home.
like, she's in commercial real estate now.
Oh yeah, of course. Okay.
That's also, you got this real estate thing and no love for the game.
She's bawling behind that stage. I felt so bad for her.
Yeah, man, it's a hard game. The only I've had like a couple shows during quarantine, and the most fun was that backyard one of yours. I loved that show.
That was a lot.
Oh yeah, that's a good little location.
That was so fun.
We're gonna try this whenever he thinks he's safe. We'll try, because that's 20-30 people. You know, it's safe. There's plenty of room. It
was a fun one.
I just really don't know when California, because the minute they open shit up, there's going to be people. I know people who got student loans and rent debt right now.
Yeah.
Oh, all kind of shit. Like, cause people.
Once they open back up, people are going to get evicted left and right.
Yeah.
All right, a friend he said he lives in a nice neighborhood. He has a home, and some people renting next door, and they got evicted already.
Really?
Yeah, they got evicted last
Such
week. He was
fucking
like a family.
bullshit.
He's like, they hadn't paid in 4 months or 3 or 4 months. They just couldn't afford it. And
well, the thing is, they're saying the landlords are evicting people for like dogs and like weird things, because you can't evict for non-payment.
Could you imagine?
No,
yeah.
Imagine you're having hard times like as everybody is, but you have an expensive place, and $1,200 is doing nothing for you. Like a $600 a week or $300 a week, whatever it was, is doing fucking zilch for your $7,000 a month rent. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? People in those people who have like nice places.
Yeah.
Or you thought I had a really good job. I'm gonna have my rent is $3,800 or $4,000 with my family. I got 4 kids and whatever. And all of a sudden you're like, and the government throws you $300. So like, hey, here's the extra $300. You're like, bro.
it's so bad.
I don't know what a politician has to do to get elected out. Like, I don't, because all these politicians, if they're not doing anything for you and I, they need to find people who are actually going to do something.
It's crazy. That's been another big eye-opening part of this whole pandemic, is like seeing how much the government doesn't give a shit about any of us.
No, they don't care.
No, they don't. That's been a wild one.
And like I say, I wish I had a solution.
Yeah,
I
all
wish.
of us do. We can't fucking do anything. We're not politicians.
No, I know. Now, do you guys feel like you got a good year in review with me? Like, you guys were wonderful. We've done our 75 minutes.
The 75 minutes? Wow.
Yeah, like you guys, I have to say, and I said this to Andy and Courtney last night, there are certain people that I'm very appreciative of, and I've known you basically since you started, Gabby.
Yeah,
you've always been a trooper. You've always been the homie, and I appreciate that. In the same way with Murph.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, by the way, Murph.
Wait,
I have a birthday.
28th.
I have a birthday.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, happy birthday for
you,
Capricorn?
Sir.
Yep,
Wow.
Capricorn. Yeah.
Cappy Cap.
Capricorn.
Happy birthday, Cappy.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to come over here and celebrate New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little smoke. A little smoke. And the smile.
Jerky? I don't want jerky, bro. Make
I make. I know it's a tomahawk because Hazel gets the bone.
Bro, he makes these Fred Flintstone steaks that like Fred Flintstone eats.
No, I don't.
Barney Rubble.
They're delicious.
That sounds good.
Like rhinoceros.
No, and see, and that's why I really want all the success for like my homies, and I know like what we were talking about earlier. It's hard to not see when other people like get it, but like there's certain people that I makes me happy when they get it though too.
Yeah,
you know, like
you have to be, and then you have to be happy for people when they get shit.
It genuinely does, and like this year has been. You know, for some people they were thriving. For me, fuck, man, like I'm still turning the corner, you know, and I don't really battle depression, you know, but I went through a loss of identity and, you know, like a lot of questioning, you know, because it's like I told myself if I made it to 10 years, I was in for good.
Yeah.
You know, and I hit my 10 years.
Is this year 10?
My 10, yeah. And it's like,
fuck.
and that's why that was Thanksgiving of last year. So it's actually, I think it's year 11 now. I got to, it's year 10.
This year doesn't count.
Yeah, that's the thing. I had a whole year that it did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's the hard part too.
Yeah, I mean, and it's, you know, like crazy. Like Kanye ran for president this year. We didn't even get to talk about some of this shit.
God, forgot about
like
that.
this year, no, I have a list of things. We didn't even need them, but that's how so many things like Quibi happened this year.
Oh yeah, that died.
I wrote for one. I helped write for one.
Yeah, a bunch of my friends got money from about $1.75 billion went out the tube.
Throwing money.
Courtney Sherman
That's crazy.
Said she did a show at the Improv, a Quibi show, and all the comedians were getting like $150 a set. And she's like, I knew something was weird.
Yeah, I knew. Just they're throwing money at this thing.
Yeah, like that happened this year. God, Epstein went to jail. Like
Was that this year?
Yeah, the Tiger King happened.
Oh, yeah, Tiger. That was the beginning. Kobe
happened. Yeah, Kobe. Remember that was January 26th.
Yeah.
I was sad that day.
That was wild. Yeah.
Yeah, the Lakers and the Dodgers won. Wow. Man, yeah, like all kinds of shit. You know.
Yeah, so much has happened in this year.
And it's like, I hope. I just hope that the government actually does something. I don't know if it's going to matter if Biden's president or not, but I just hope they do something because you can't hold people back this long. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. Now, Murph, you got anything else?
Yeah.
Like you're always a trooper, and like you're the homie. And I want the best for both of you, but like
nothing right now, man. It's
But I've exhausted your brain. I see it in your eyes, bro.
No, I'm trying to think. Yeah, no, that's all.
No, you've been losing steam for the last 10 minutes, Murph.
No. I don't know what I was talking about. It's like
you did it.
I don't know, man, it's depressing.
No, I mean,
depressing. It's
well, that's the thing. It's not. It's a little depressing, yes, but in the same note, when the day is the darkest, you know, when the night is the darkest, then comes the day.
You can't enjoy the feast without the famine.
No, you can't, and that's why I hope and I try to.
This is fucking so funny.
This is so funny.
So great. It's so great. The E.T. It's so.
The music is so funny.
Yeah, and I looked up Christmas music. This was the or Thanksgiving music. This was the closest I could find. I change the song regularly, but I do.
I like this one.
You guys have been wonderful. Gabby Lamb, David Murphy. This is the Brian Moreno Show. Thank you all so much.
I'm taking my pants off right now.
That's so fun.